we are talking about rates dropping, which some of us don't have good rates. Some of us do have good rates, and they're never going to leave those houses. But here's the thing, for those of us who don't have good mortgage rates, they saw their biggest one-day drop in months, hitting their lowest level since late 2022. The average 30-year fixed rate dipped to 6.13% on Tuesday as investors anticipate a widely expected rate cut by the Federal Reserve. So that's good news. But as we've seen before, what looks like relief for home buyers can quickly shift, especially when rates move unexpectedly after the Fed's decision. So what does this mean for buyers, sellers, and the housing market right now? Joining us today is real estate agent Matt Laracy, friend of the show, to help us understand how this rate drop could impact today's fast-moving market. Good morning to you.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me on again. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. How does this happen, like a one-day drop? Can you give us like one or two lines on that?
Listen, rates are like a roller coaster ride right now, right? Like they're up, they're down. You know, your emotions are high, they're low at the same time. It's just kind of the economic environment we're in, okay? And you're going to kind of see this. And as we lead up to a federal rate cut, the market's going to adjust. So by the time the actual, cut happens, which if it does, which we all anticipate probably at least a quarter point drop, the rate that you'll see now will already reflect that. So the benefits of the upcoming rate cut are kind of already starting to get baked into it.
Got it.
Okay, now nobody has a crystal ball, but if we did, and you have your finger to the pulse of this whole thing, the roller coaster, as you said, do you expect that we have more cuts coming, more rate drops coming, so maybe people should hold off on refining or buying at this moment?
I would say that we should anticipate rates to continue to come down.
Okay.
We're not seeing a 2 to 3% rates, okay? I think I said this last time. 2 to 3% rates are like 18 and 19% rates, like when your parents talk about it. It's not happening. Now, I think it's possible that we're going to start seeing rates get in like the high fives, like in a 5.8, 5.9 environment, which I think will be very helpful for the marketplace. So I would anticipate we see that in the next, let's say, fourth quarter of Q1.
What do you think will happen? What happens mentally? You work with a lot of buyers when a threshold like that, even if it's just, in the 5.9 range, like what happens mentally to the market there?
Well, I mean, the market goes up, right? Because then everybody's like, rates drop, so we got to buy. So then prices go up a little bit, and then you see an influx of buyers. You're also going to start seeing the buyers who are, if you use a rate as a way to not buy, I tell people you're not really like a buyer in general, right? Because if you'll buy at 5.9, but you won't buy at 6.1, like that doesn't really it's not going to have like a huge impact on your monthly payment. Because for rates to get down to 5.8, 5.9, you're going to need the job reports to keep coming in worse, and the economy is going to have to say like it's kind of coming to a little bit of a halt or it's taking a hit. Like you don't have really low rates when you have like the greatest economy of all time. To have like lower rates, you're normally going to have like an economy that's going to show some stuff that's going to slow the economy down, which means that they're then going to be able to bring down the rates. So two things happen when rates drop. One, you get a lot of buyers who say like, oh my God, I think the market's gonna crash, so I'm gonna hold off on buying because I'm too nervous of what's happening in the economic environments. The second thing that happens is that you get the buyers who are like, okay, rates have dropped, I've been kind of watching properties, let's get going, let's buy, and then you get an influx of new demand. And as I talked about last time, we're seeing a fall push, and you're seeing more inventory hit the market. And if that demand keeps coming, it's going to lead to a very, very strong fall market, which is going to tip into a good holiday season. Okay,
so speaking of, you spoke from the buyer's perspective, seller's perspective. Is there a certain magic number that buyer or sellers, if the rates drop to a certain point where they have to give more wiggle room with the price of their house? Or do you think it's going to happen already, or should they wait until it's in the fives and be like, okay, maybe I'll knock some numbers off?
I mean, listen, a lot of sellers think like, hey, anything that's above 2% is a high rate, okay? So because they're stuck there. But when you have a lower interest rate and you see properties moving, it does motivate more sellers to sell. Like a lot of sellers right now will think, hey, the season's over, so I'm going to wait till the spring, after the first year to list, so I'm going to hold off on it. If the rates get below 6 and they see their neighbors' properties move, that will motivate them enough to be able to sell if they did plan on selling in the next year or two. Okay.
All right, Matt, thank you for navigating the roller coaster for us, as always, sir. I hope to check back in with you very, very shortly.
Let's see a 5.5, please.
Yeah, we'll see
Put it out there, 5.5.
Mid-5s. We'll talk to you again.
5.5. That's what we want, guys. All right. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for having me on.